Hello, welcome to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Samantha Leighanne and I talk about books. I have another TBR. I talked so much shit about TBRs, it's ridiculous. And now I've been doing a bunch of them, but it's for a good reason because I'm doing another readathon. I just did 2 and now I'm doing another one and I'm okay with that. Especially because this one is in support of one of the only podcasts that I listen to, and that is the Books in the Freezer Readathon, which the ladies who do the Books in the Freezer podcast are putting together because Books in the Freezer is turning 1. So it is hosted obviously by Stephanie from That's What She Read and Rachel from The Shades of Orange, both of which are on the Books in the Freezer podcast. If you are into the horror genre at all and you aren't already listening to this podcast, what are you doing with your life? All of it will be linked down below so you can check out both of those beautiful ladies individually as well as the podcast itself. So, and I've gotten so many good recommendations from that podcast, so I highly recommend it. But okay, so this is a horror themed podcast, obviously, which is going to be running from October 1st to October 14th. There's also a separate Instagram challenge that is going along with that. And I will also put the links for that down below just in case you're on Instagram and you would like to participate. I'm really bad at keeping up with challenges, but I might try and do a couple of things in there. So we'll see. All right. So for this readathon, obviously it's just about horror books and there are 5 challenges. Just, get as much horror read as you can during the 2 weeks. So I am going to try and vlog it. I make no promises because I just thought about it and I am actually going to be traveling for work during a good portion of that time. However, if I am commuting, it's like an hour and 20 minutes just one way. So if I end up commuting instead of staying there, then I will have a lot of time to listen to audiobooks in the car, and I actually have several audiobooks on this list. So yeah, I might still vlog it. I don't know. We'll see. Okay, so without further ado, we talked about who's hosting, we talked about when it is, we talked about what it is. So now let's talk about the challenges and what I'm going to read for those challenges. So challenge number 1 is read a horror book by a female author. There is actually a Twitter page and an Instagram page called Ladies of Horror Fiction. I will also link that down below. You can definitely check that out. I feel like horror is more of a male-dominated genre for the most part, and so I think that it's really important to really talk about not just the women authors that are in this genre, but also people of color as well. So anyway, there is a Twitter page and an Instagram page called Ladies of Horror Fiction. I, again, will link that down below. They have put together some really awesome lists and some really awesome recommendations, so you should definitely go check that out. So for this prompt, I will be reading The Devil Crept In by Anaya Alborn. Anaya, I don't know exactly how you say that. I'm so very sorry. I suck at names. But I will be checking this out for my library because I don't have any of her physical books, but I've heard amazing things about her and I am really excited to finally read something by her. So I actually don't know what it's about. I just know that it was available at my library and I have seen it in like on Bookstagram and stuff like that. So I am into it. I am also one of those people where I don't like to know a ton about what I'm reading going into it. So yeah, I'm excited. Number 2 is read an anthology or a short story collection. And for that, I am actually going to be reading The Bloody Chamber and Other Short Stories, which is by Angela Carter. I have this one on audio because it showed up as like a daily deal or something like that, I'm pretty sure. And I looked at the Goodreads, and from what I understand, it's like this horror twist on like some fairy tales, and I can definitely get down with that. It has really high ratings on Goodreads. I didn't really read many of the reviews because once again, I like to go into things pretty blind. So I am definitely looking forward to that. That would also be able to meet the prompt for female author as well. One of the other things that I like about this readathon is you don't have to read 5 books for this readathon. If you read slower, you can pick 2 books that meet all 5 challenges somehow. Like, you do you. So it is very relaxed in that way. Number 3 is read a horror book from a person of color or LGBTQIA+ author, or has a character within the book that features a character that is a person of color or LGBTQIA+. So for that, I decided to go with Cabin at the End of the World by Paul Tremblay. I have not read anything by him yet, and I have heard good things about that particular book. And I'm pretty sure in that book, it's that there is a gay couple that is like some of the main protagonists in the book. So, but that's another one that's been on my radar for quite some time, and I will also be getting that from my library in audio format because I am really digging audiobooks right now. It's made my life a lot easier. So next on the list at number 4 is read a horror book with a movie adaptation. So that could be a lot of different books, I'm choosing the Amityville Horror. This is by Jay Anson. I've seen the movies like a lot of times, but I've never actually read the book. So it's a pretty short book. My copy is like beat to hell because I don't know that it's a first edition. I don't think it is. No, it's a book club edition, but it's pretty beat to hell. So yeah, but I have wanted to get to this for a really long time, so I'm excited to finally be able to do that. And the last challenge is read a book that has been wrecked by the podcast. And I'm pretty sure that like 3 out of the 4 that I've already mentioned have been wrecked at some point by the podcast. But for that particular prompt, I'm going to go with The Troop by Nick Cutter, and this is the last of his books that I have to read. It's the one that I hear the best things about, so I'm really excited to finally get to it. I'm really excited to be doing this in October because I've been reading a lot of science fiction and contemporary, and I read a lot of historical fiction, and like I need more horror in my life. Like I'm really, really, really ready to read some more horror. This was mentioned, I'm sure it's been mentioned multiple times actually, but I particularly remember this one from the survival horror episode. So that one had a couple of different ones. I think The Ruins was in that one too, which you could also use for book with a movie adaptation, and that one was really good. I really loved that one. That's one of my favorite horror books of all time now. But so I'm really, really excited to read this one. And I think the only thing that I know about this is it's about like a Boy Scout troop that goes, you know, on a trip to the woods, and then like bad things happen. That's all I know. All right, so those are the books that I plan on reading to fulfill all the challenges for the books in the freezer readathon. Hopefully I can get through all of those. I feel like, especially if I'm commuting back and forth, like I said, I should be able to definitely get through most of those because I think, yeah, all but 2 are audio, so it's fine. And I'm pretty sure I actually have the audio for both of the other books, so if I have to listen to all of them on audio, I can. So that's what I have. Are you going to be participating? If you are going to be participating, comment down below and let me know. Post your TBR. If you've read any of the books that I mentioned, comment down below and let's talk about them. What books are you excited to read if you're participating? All that good stuff. As always, you can connect with me on any of my social media links. All of that is in the down bar below. All of the links for Rachel and Stephanie and the podcast and all of that stuff is also going to be found down below. Definitely go check out the podcast, especially if you're into podcasts at all. And even if you're not, go check it out anyway. I don't listen to a lot of podcasts religiously, but theirs is definitely one that I do. So as always, if you like what you see here and you want to see more, make sure you click thumbs up or hit subscribe if you have not already. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you all next time. Bye.